Hey, hello everyone, and welcome you on the Learn, Know, and Grow the World Bass Clubbing platform. As you already know that here you get latest tech updates and tech news. So today the main update is Epic Data Breach impacts 15 million users, including known customers also. So you also can come in this also. Okay, you have to know about this. Don't skip this video. This is going to very important video related the data thiefers. Okay, so let's start our lesson about this update. Epic has now confirmed that an unauthorized intrusion did in fact occur into its systems. The announcement follows last week's incident of Hacktivist Collective Anonymous leaking 180 GB of data stolen from online services provider Epic. To mock the company's initial response to the data breach claims, Anonymous has altered Epic's official knowledge base as reported by here. Epic is a domain registrar and web services provider known to serve right-wing clients, some of which have been turned down by more mainstream IT providers due to the objectionable and sometimes illicit content hosted by clients. Epic's clients have included the Texas GOP, Parler, Gab, and 8chan among others. Epic hack impacts millions of non-customers too. So what about this? Let's listen. Turns out the leaked data dump contains very more email addresses belonging to both Epic's customer and non-customers, and not everyone is pleased with the news. This occurred as Epic had scrapped WHOIS records of domains, even those not owned by the company, and stored these records. In doing so, the contact information of those who have never transacted with Epic directly was also retained in Epic's system. Data breach monitoring service Havel Bean Pound has now begun sending out alerts to millions of email addresses exposed in the Epic hack. The service's founder Troy Hunt is one of the many impacted by the data breach, but who had absolutely nothing to do with Epic. In a poll last week, Hunt had asked if affected users who were not Epic customers preferred receiving breach alerts as well. The majority of users responded affirmatively to the question. The breach exposed a huge volume of data not just of Epic customers but also scrapped WHOIS records belonging to individuals and organizations who were not Epic customers. States have been pawned. The data included over 15 million unique email addresses, including anonymized versions of domain privacy, names, phone numbers, physical addresses, purchases, and passwords stored in various formats. Now you can think that how much dangerous this is. It can leak anything. So dataset file roughly 16 GB in size with email, IP addresses, domains, physical addresses, and phone numbers of the users. We noticed WHOIS records for some domains were dated and contained incorrect information about domain owners, people who no longer own these assets. Period to registering domains. Domain registrars requires users to provide their WHIS contact information such as email addresses, physical addresses, phone number. This information become a part of the public WHIS directory and is searchable by anyone for contacting the domain owner. Being public data, WHOIS records may be seen or scrapped by anyone. Those who prefer not to disclose their personal information directly on a WHIS directory often rely on a company or a private WHIS provider to act on their behalf. However, what has gotten the users concerned in this case is that the presence of their contact information in Epic's data set could falsely portray them as having a connection to Epic when there was none. You have to listen this update very carefully. I'm giving you so much very important information. Okay, so wonder if there is any legal resource one can take against Epic for harvesting data and keeping it longer than expected in a cache for individuals who are not clients and have had zero business dealings with them. Is there a precedent for this? Asked tapnv.us and Texas based app development shop also. Okay, so next main point is related to this update. Epic confirms data breach email impacted people. Okay, Epic has confirmed the breach and is also emailing the impacted parties about an unauthorized instruction, according to screenshots shared by data scientists Emily Gosanki and cybersecurity expert. As we work to confirm all related details, we are taking an approach towards maximum caution and urging customers to remain alert for any unusual activity they may observe regarding their information used for our services. This may include payment information, include credit card numbers, registered names, usernames, emails, passwords. Reads Epic email notice. Go and read here. Although the company has not confirmed at this time if credit card information was also compromised. As a caution, users are encouraged to contact any credit card companies that you use to transact with Epic and notify them to a potential data compromise to discuss your option with them directly. Previously, an Epic spokesperson had told us that the company was not aware of any breach and was investigating the claims. Users can check if their data has been exposed as a part of this hack at havelbeenpwned.com. Those whose contact information was exposed should keep an eye out for any phishing emails and online banking scams. So this was today main update which I had to give you related this data hacking. Okay, so if you want to take different kind of updates related tech news, so you can be here with me. You can subscribe, share, like this channel, this video, so your friends also could be up to date. Thanks for coming here.